If you're looking at the SVS SB-2000 Pro subwoofer, you probably have three big questions. This review will give you the three critical things you absolutely need to know before you buy. /N, but here's what surprised me /N. Nearly every review out there will tell you it's powerful, which it is, but that's actually the least interesting part of the story. /N, therefore, today we're going to talk about power, yes, but the real magic is in the features that no one else has and the two biggest mistakes people make when setting it up, mistakes that can literally ruin your experience. /N for the best price. Click the link in the description. /N, let's get straight into it. /N, the first thing you need to know is that the SB-2000 Pro isn't just about raw power, it's about intelligent, controlled power. You see, a lot of subwoofers in this price range are like that friend who only knows how to talk in a shout. They have one volume, loud and sloppy. But what SVS has done with their proprietary Sledge SDA 550D amplifier is give you a world-class athlete. We're talking 550 watts continuous, over 1500 watts peak power, all fed to a high-excursion 12-inch driver. The numbers are impressive, sure, but the control is what will blow you away. This thing can deliver the subtle rumble of distant thunder in a movie scene, and then, a millisecond later, absolutely punish you with the tactile slam of a kick drum without breaking a sweat. Therefore, if you think all subs are just boom boxes, this is your wake-up call. /N. Now, here's where we get to the secret sauce, the second thing you need to know that most reviews glance over. The SB-2000 Pro's app control is a complete game-changer, and I'm not just talking about adjusting the volume from your couch. Although not having to crawl behind the sub is a life upgrade my knees thank me for. No, the SVS app gives you a level of tuning that used to require a professional installer and thousands of dollars in measurement gear. Think about your room for a second. It's probably not a perfect acoustic chamber, is it? You likely have peaks and nulls, places where bass gets boomy or disappears entirely. This is where so many people fail. They plop the sub down, set it to on, and wonder why their new expensive subwoofer sounds worse than their old one. It's not the sub's fault, it's the room's fault. But with the SB-2000 Pro's app, you can deploy a 3-band parametric EQ. You can pinpoint an annoying room boom at, say, 45 Hz and surgically reduce just that frequency without touching the beautiful punch at 60 Hz or the deep rumble at 25 Hz. This isn't just a convenience feature. It's the key to unlocking this subwoofer's true potential and making it sound perfect in your unique, acoustically challenged living space. /N, that leads us perfectly to our first joke. Setting up a subwoofer without room correction is like trying to paint a masterpiece in a pitch-black room. You might get some paint on the canvas, but you're going to be really disappointed when you turn the lights on. The SVS app is the light switch. /N, okay, so we have intelligent power and godlike tuning control. The third thing you need to know is about the balance of form and function, and this is where the SB in its name becomes crucial. SB stands for sealed box. Its more popular sibling, the PB-2000 Pro, is a ported box. This is a massive distinction and the source of the second biggest setup mistake, choosing the wrong type for your needs. A ported sub, like the PB model, uses a tuned port to move more air, giving you more output and deeper extension for the same amplifier power. It's fantastic for home theater enthusiasts who want that chest-thumping, room-pressurizing experience for blockbuster movies. But, and this is a huge but, that port can also introduce a slight delay, making the bass sound a bit less tight or fast. The sealed SB-2000 Pro, however, is the precision instrument. The sealed enclosure allows the driver to start and stop on a dime. It's the difference between a bass guitar and a synthesizer playing the same note. One has the pluck of the string, the immediate attack. Therefore, if your primary diet is music, jazz, rock, acoustic, even electronic where you want clean transients, the SB-2000 Pro is arguably the better choice. It blends seamlessly with your main speakers, providing foundational weight without ever sounding like a separate entity going boom in the corner. For movies, it's still phenomenal, delivering clean, articulate, and powerful bass, but it won't pressurize a massive room quite like its ported brother. Choose wrong here, and you'll always wonder what you're missing. \n, let's take a quick audio demonstration. \n sound demo. Play a clip of a stand-up bass line, highlighting the speed and texture of each plucked note, followed by a movie clip with a deep explosion showing the control and lack of overhang. \n, hear that? The bass in the music is all about speed and texture. You can almost feel the wood of the bass. The explosion is deep and powerful, but it starts and stops with authority. It doesn't just linger and muddy up the dialogue that follows. That's the sealed box advantage. \n now, I promised you a contrarian snapback at the beginning. Everyone talks about the SB-2000 Pro as a compact subwoofer, and at roughly 15 inches cubed, it is relatively small for its performance. But here's the unexpected angle. Its small size is its greatest trick and its greatest challenge. The challenge is psychological. You will look at this relatively unassuming black box, connect it, and for the first 10 minutes you'll think, it's good, but is it that asterisk good? But then you'll play something truly demanding, and that's when it pulls off the magic trick. The bass that erupts from this box seems to defy physics. It creates an energy, a pressure, a sheer physicality that your brain refuses to believe is coming from that source. It's like finding out your quiet, unassuming neighbor is a retired, champion heavyweight boxer. The cabinet itself is incredibly inert, with extensive internal bracing, so it doesn't vibrate or buzz. All the energy goes into moving air, not the box. Therefore, don't let its polite appearance fool you. This is a beast in a tailored suit. \n joke number 2. The SB-2000 Pro is the bass equivalent of a stealth billionaire. It doesn't look flashy, doesn't need to show off, but when the situation calls for it, it can casually buy and sell your entire sound system without breaking a sweat. \n let's get practical. Where should you place it? The eternal question. The classic advice is the subwoofer crawl, and it's still valid. But with the SB-2000 Pro's app, you have a secret weapon. You can place the sub in your main listening position, play a bass-heavy test tone, and then literally crawl around the room's perimeter with the SVS app's real-time output display. The spot where the app shows the most even, full response is where you should put the sub. It turns a tedious, back-breaking hour of trial and error into a 10-minute science experiment. But remember, a corner placement will often give you the maximum output and deepest extension, but it can also excite more room modes, making the bass boomier. A placement along a wall or even mid-wall might yield a smoother, more balanced response. The beauty is, with the parametric EQ, you can often fix a boomy corner. Therefore, don't be afraid to experiment and use the technology in your hands. \n now, I have to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of an elephant. This sub is not cheap. It sits in that premium mid-range category where expectations are sky-high. So, is it worth it? Here's the twist. For its performance and features, it's actually an incredible value. Consider what you're getting. A fully digital amplifier with monstrous power reserves, a premium driver with a massive magnet structure, a rock-solid cabinet, and the most comprehensive control app in the consumer market. There are cheaper subs. There are subs with more raw output. But finding a sub that marries this level of precision, control, and sheer musicality at this price point is incredibly rare. It's a buy once, cry once product. You get it, you set it up properly with the app, and you literally stop thinking about your bass. It just works perfectly for years. \n, which brings me to joke 3. Buying a cheap subwoofer is like hiring a mime to provide your sound effects. Sure, it might look like he's trying really hard, and it's kind of funny at first, but you're never, ever convinced there's actually a real explosion happening. \n, we've covered the intelligent power, the revolutionary app control, and the sealed box precision. Before we wrap up, let's talk about connectivity and the little things. It has your standard line-level inputs, both left and right RCA, and a left-right LFE input. It has unbalanced RCA inputs and outputs, which is standard. But it also has a 12V trigger input, so it can turn on and off automatically with your receiver. And my personal favorite quality-of-life feature, the auto-on switch. Leave it on auto, and the subwoofer will power up when it senses a signal and go into a ultra-low power standby when you turn your system off. No more reaching for the power switch. These may seem like small details, but they contribute to that. It just works feeling we all want from our gear. And so, who is the SB-2000 Pro not for? It's not for someone with a cavernous, 5,000 cubic foot great room who wants subterranean, house-shaking bass for movies above all else. They should look at the PB-2000 Pro or even step up to the 3000 series. It's also not for the person on an extreme budget who just wants some more bass. This is a precision tool for the enthusiast who values quality, detail, and integration over sheer, overwhelming quantity. Therefore, if you're a music lover first, or a movie fan with a small to medium-sized room who hates bloated, one-note bass, this is your subwoofer. And joke 4, the final one. After living with the SB-2000 Pro, listening to other subwoofers feels like having a conversation with someone who only speaks in capital letters. Everything is loud and slow, and it's exhausting after a while. And let's resolve this. The 3 things you absolutely needed to know. First, its 550-watt sledge amplifier provides not just brute force, but intelligent, nuanced control for both delicate textures and explosive impacts. Second, the SVS smartphone app is not a gimmick. It's a professional-grade tuning tool that solves the #1 problem with bass, your room, making proper setup achievable for anyone. Third, the sealed box design prioritizes speed, accuracy, and seamless musical blending, making it the ideal choice for critical music listening and medium-sized home theaters where clarity is king. If those 3 points align with what you're looking for, then the SVS SB-2000 Pro is not just a good choice. It's likely the last subwoofer you'll need to buy for a very, very long time. It's a masterpiece of engineering that hides devastating performance behind a facade of simplicity. And therefore, if you're ready to experience bass the way it was meant to be heard, clean, powerful, and perfectly integrated, I've left a link in the description below where you can check the latest price on Amazon. That link supports the channel at no extra cost to you, and it's the best way to find the current deal. For the best price on the SVS SB-2000 Pro, click the link in the description now.